It's only fitting we start with the cheers, boys. We're going to start with the cheers and end with the cheers. Many Threads, welcome back. This is a full circle story, and it goes back to the origin of this platform, which was all about connecting people. When I started the Building Belmont podcast back then, it was about connecting people to amazing people that I was connecting with. I was so fortunate to always just be meeting great people with great stories, and I understand even though there's only 15,000 people in Belmont and growing, you can't connect with everybody, but through the platform, we wanted you to feel connected. So we're full circle. You recognize Ryan, my partner across from me here. He was on the Belmont Farmers Market podcast, and actually, if you go back to that episode, we had bourbon in hand.
We did.
It was 6 p.m. one evening, and I interviewed him about getting the Belmont Farmers Market going, which obviously it's a great success now, but it was just getting started. And that was actually the first time we ever met, was live on camera, actually talking and getting to know each other. And it's been a friendship ever since. I don't think a day's gone by since that episode, however long ago that was, that we haven't connected somehow. And then Grant, I met him at ABC store, actually. Fitting, and he said, "Hey man, you're the one that does the podcast?" I said, "Yeah." And he asked me for an autograph, and I was flattered, and I politely declined. But
still waiting on that autograph.
He mentioned I signed it on an operating agreement. He mentioned that he had seen some of the episodes, and then we reconnected at the gym and built a friendship there. A couple of years in the making now. So when this opportunity came around, I thought it was full circle to take on this bar and do what we've done here together, but also to be now here on the podcast again really was the catalyst for all of our relationship, talking about what we've done with Southpoint Social. For those of you that aren't aware, the old Rudy's and Crow's Nest at 2311 Southpoint Road is now Southpoint Social as of May 17th, and it's off to a fast, hot start. It's a great place to hang out, do more than drink, but get social and hang out, and these are my business partners. So I'm here as a host today on Many Threads, but I'm also here as a guest, kind of, to talk about what we've done here, right back to the roots of it in Belmont. So I'll start with you, Ryan. Obviously, we had connected then, and again, the farmers market's a great success if you want to share anything about that. But Southpoint Social, man, we're here. Yeah. How did this happen?
This is full circle. 3 years, actually, almost to the week. But really what it comes down to is finding the right people that you want to do business with, at the same time building those connections. That's what led to this. You know, Keanu and I really had that connection that really started on that podcast. Before that podcast, we were really just talking and just having a great conversation. And we knew we were going to be best friends. So golf aside, now we're here doing business. And really where it started, this conversation started at a bar.
Yeah.
Just like we're here now.
Shout out Chad, shout out Bearded Buffalo. Yeah, we were at a bar, and our fourth partner, who's not here today, he has a face for radio, so he's not on the podcast today, but shout out Mike Hawley as well. We sat down at the bar on New Year's Day this year in 2025 to watch some college football, and there was Mike, and he mentioned this bar that was up for sale, and he mentioned it might be a great deal, and my first thought was I do not need a bar. I got plenty going on. But Mike said, hey, if you do it, then, you know, I'd gladly support. And then Ryan said, hey, man, if you do it, I'll run the thing. I'm like, well, now I got to do it. The next day, happened to meet with Grant, so I'll let him introduce himself. And we were playing golf. And Grant, you can introduce yourself and how you came to be at the table.
Sure, yeah. So I'm Grant. I met Keanu, I don't know how long ago. I guess, yeah, it was when when I saw you at the ABC store, and then, reconnected at the gym. And so knew Keanu was, connected with some of the local businesses, and then Ryan and I had gone golfing a few times as well. And so knew, kind of his connection with some of the downtown Belmont places. But for me, I live in Belmont, but I work in Charlotte, so I work uptown in one of the consulting firms. And so for me, there was always a slight disconnect between, home is Belmont, but also home is Charlotte. But also, I'm kind of back and forth with commuting. And so being able to find a place that was community at home, was able to get that with our gym that we were kind of going to, was able to meet people through that. But ultimately, there was kind of a seed in my brain of I want to invest locally, and I want to take, money I've earned to be able to invest in something that matters, something I care about.
Drinking,
yeah. And so with that, I think the seed was in my brain, and then Keanu just kind of watered it. when we met for golf. It was funny. I told him, I was like, I really, in the next few months, I think I'd like to, invest into a small business or something. And then he was like, yeah, so we've got something right now. And so it just kind of came together like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a quick turnaround, but I knew I just wanted to, kind of shared the vision. We can talk through that more, I think. But once kind of seeing that vision, I knew, that was.
I really think that next day, Keanu texted me, Grant's in. I was like, all right, we're good. We got the money.
Yeah, we could do it. Other than that, it's just elbow grease. I think we went golfing one day. It was maybe a Friday or Saturday over at Hang Time. And I said, all right, so what are you doing Tuesday? So we're going to go have a meeting. And we met, and we got the deal points. And then on March 10th, we took it over. And like I said, May 17th, we spun it back up. Talk a little bit about Ryan, first, your background and your connection to some downtown businesses, just to share who you are.
Yeah, so when this conversation really came to be, Keanu looked at me and he said, there's nobody else that could probably do this than me, not to toot my own horn, but my background's restaurants. So if you guys are familiar with Morelli's Italian Restaurant, Honeycomb Cafe, even Bumblebee Creamery in downtown Belmont, a lot of that is spun off from my family. So for me, for the last 4 years, I've been working closely with the family, developing those restaurants, the brand, at the same time learning the operational side. And when you look at a bar and you take away the food, it's really the same thing. So for me, knowing who to call, what needs to be done to get things set up, it just fell right into my wheelhouse. So when we originally had that conversation, it was like, that's a no-brainer. You know what to do. Let's go in and execute, and let's do it quick.
Yeah, well, we have to give a shout-out to our landlords and the owners of the property. Just have been great to us, working with us. Obviously, they were very mindful of who they were bringing in to do the right operation, and we put together an all-star team. Again, shout out Mike Hawley as well. He's been in business. I mean, I think he sold Jesus the tomb. He's been in business that long. So a lot of wisdom there as well. But we put together a great team. Southpoint Social. Not only is it great branding, obviously it's a great name. I mean, it just rolls off the tongue. I think we're batting around ideas. I don't know who the first person was that said it, but it was like immediately yes.
He doesn't want to admit it, but he knows it was him.
Yeah,
It wasn't me? Okay. Well, I remember
He's
it
too
was,
humble.
we were talking in circles, and then it was just like landed. But even then we started saying it, people are like, yeah, that's the one. But social really does mean something. Not only is it good branding, we could have called it anything, but what does it mean to be a social? What do we do that makes it a social? What about that excited you to write a check to get behind it? Just some of your thoughts.
Honestly, it really comes down to what we have here as far as space is concerned. We have a massive outside covered patio, fenced-in backyard. So when we actually look at the space, it's like, how do we engage it and get people here? And when you think of a social, you think of the places in Charlotte, the ones that have got games and arcades. And so how do we emulate a lot of what's in Charlotte but give a destination for people here in their own town in Belmont? So we brought in some new games, basketball. We've had pool tables. We brought outside games in, giant Connect Four, and really just trying to maximize the space that we have. It's a beautiful layout. It's an empty space, metal building, but really it's an open canvas. And so as we continue on, it's never we're done building. It's how do we engage the community even more, from events that we do here, live music that we do here, and adding more games and things for not just adults but for kids. That's been a big change, for what this place is very much an adult friendly, but now we have kids, we have strollers, and making sure that they feel welcome and those families feel welcome. And that's really what's different from what anything in Belmont is. They don't have the space that kind of leans into those families. So I'm just excited about what comes next.
It's really exciting to talk about, what we've done thus far. Just a little over a month in since actually doing our grand reopening. But the social element, Ryan mentioned live music, trivia, karaoke. These are things we're doing weekly. So almost every day there's something going on. So it is getting social. And I like drinking with buddies just as much as anybody. Again, that's what got us here, drinking at Bearded Buffalo. But actually getting social and getting active and being able to hang out, it's fun. It's a lot more engaging. And again, something that was lacking here in the area. So Grant, why? Just why?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I ask myself every day, like, Ryan, we must really look like we got our act together for him to get behind this thing.
Oh,
Him and Mike.
100%.
Shout out, Mike.
I've asked why a couple times along the way. No, no. I think it's the big thing. What Ryan was just talking through, that vision of, we have this space, and I think that was the first thing we all saw. We all came together that first night. I don't think any of us had been here. I'm sure we all drove by it quite a few times, but to come here and kind of see, like, okay, you've got kind of a blank canvas in here, and then you go out back and you've got this big fenced-in yard that at the time really wasn't utilized, and it's like, wow, huge opportunity there. And so I think the thing that did it for me, or at least kind of seeing it come to fruition, was I think opening day, I think we were all kind of running around. It was slam packed, shoulder to shoulder, but I remember seeing someone come through with a stroller on opening day. And I was like, I bet stroller wheels have never rolled through this place before. Yeah. And so it was just really cool to see kind of that vision of, still being able to kind of provide, that neighborhood bar feel that it was before. And, there are a lot of regulars that have been coming here for a very long time, and we wanted to make sure to, pay respect to them. But then also, kind of during the daytime hours on the weekends, we have opportunity for, families to come in, a place for people to go with their kids. And so you see that, like Ryan said, in Charlotte, there's a lot of great opportunities. And I think it's just great to be able to bring that out to Belmont and to take, the great people in Belmont and give them something that they don't have to travel very far to. Yeah. And it's really, that neighborhood place.
Yeah, and one of the things, you look at the three of us here, but even, our additional partner, Mike, none of us are from Belmont.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when we look at the community and the buy-in, we just love this place. We love this community. We love what it's all about. So for us, it's really being able to dig our heels into what this community is. Yeah. And to be able to do this with a bar and to bring people together is not a bad idea.
Yeah. A lot of legacy and a lot of honor all the way around. Obviously, you all see the Rudy's sign in the background there. The original name of the bar was Rudy's, for those of you that don't know the story. And she was the daughter of the original owner, Tim, Chainsaw as we call him. Great guy, too. When we were remodeling, he's running around helping, taking pictures, just super proud. And that sign was out front for years, inoperable. And he said, if you ever take it down, I want it back. And we said, yeah, of course. And then we had the idea, like, hey, what if we honored that and we actually made it a part of the building? And he's a tough guy, and he'll never watch this. I don't think he knows what a podcast is, but he was in tears just with the honor of Rudy. And so this is Rudy's Corner and how we honored her, and that was the part we were most excited about in the remodel, and the one that caused the most stress, because we almost didn't get it done, and we almost had to scrap some merch that we were going to do. And then the company that did it for us, they came through clutch and got it plugged in just in time for the grand opening. So let's talk about the remodel a little bit, because a lot of people got to experience the remodel via socials. You're welcome. And it was a good time, though. I loved every part of it, even though it was stressful. I mean, we all carved out time out of the whole week to come out here and paint and clean and move stuff and throw stuff away and break stuff on purpose and accidentally sometimes. But how was the remodel for you guys? I mean, talk a little bit about that journey.
So for me, I think these two guys can probably take a look at me and said it was probably the most stressful for myself. The remodel happened slowly over the first month, but when you ask to do full scale, let's flip this thing in a week, that's a lot in a very little time.
It was like a Chip and Joanna Gaines situation.
It was. It certainly was. So it was definitely stressful. There's a lot that had to be done, but like, how do you do it in a way that still resonates with the community? One, at the same time, still building the brand of what Southpoint is. Finding that balance is difficult. From the furniture that we move to the things that we add in to the paint scheme, it had to be done in 3 days. So you got to see a little bit of that, not so much the yelling and screaming behind the camera, but it was good. It all came together as it needed to. At the same time, everybody chipped in. The team here that was here, our bar team, as well as the partners here, everyone had a shovel in hand. Everyone was shoveling rocks to get that the fire pit done. And we were here probably night and day for 5 days.
Yeah. I had a camera in my hand the whole time. Just supervising and recording. I did put the camera down when necessary to get some work done. But yeah, no, it was. I should have included some clips of people crying, Because like, what's a remodel story without someone like crying, like, I can't do this, I don't want to do it anymore. But the truth is, we all were there. I had an intern and a staff member probably there as well. Like, I don't want to do this anymore, but we made it happen. It was a lot of fun, and that grand opening was amazing. Grant, what was that remodel experience for you? Did you think we were going to get it done?
I mean, I felt really good the first, day or two, and then as we were around day 4, I was like, all right, this is going to be cutting it a bit close.
It was stacked, though, because it rained the first 2 days.
Yeah.
So when you look at what we're trying to do in the space, half of it's the outside space.
Yeah.
And when you got rain for 2.5 days, then you're like, are we actually going to get this done?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And we tried to set up a whole, project schedule and everything too of, first couple days we had some contractors doing some work. And so we were like, all right, we'll be outside doing stuff and then we'll get that out of the way. So yeah, then it's raining and we're like, all right, so flips the whole thing over. But no, it was a blast. I mean, I thought it was fun to kind of, and I think that for me shows the difference of, working in corporate America versus kind of owning something, is that you get to be hands-on, right? And you get to, decisions you're making, you're actually seeing happening in front of you, which I think is really exciting. And that whole week was just really great. Growing up, I did flip houses with my dad, so I felt confident going in, but it was still a lot of work.
How confident do you feel about those TVs, Grant?
Feel great about the TVs. Don't anybody worry. TVs are great.
Come football season, which this will air a little bit before football season or go live, those 85-inch TVs that I'm looking at right now, it's going to be awesome. So that opening night, I can just see it right now, just Cowboys up. 2 touchdowns on the Eagles. It's gonna be epic. But it will be a good sports spot. We got TVs all around this place, so not only being active, but once football season comes around, and honestly, I think we only did this because we were bored. It was football season was over, and we didn't have anything to gamble on anymore online legally, and so why not build a bar? But come football season is going to be a good environment. Yeah, I had no doubts that we weren't going to get that remodel done, but it was close. And even on the last day, we were still. What we said was, we don't want to be running around here on the last day up till the final minute, and we were.
Oh, 100%.
We were.
I think I was drilling a hole in the wall 5 minutes before we opened.
Yeah, I think the cornhole sets were still drying when everybody was still playing on them.
Oh,
So
yeah.
They might need a fresh
close.
coat now here
It
pretty
was
soon.
close. It definitely needs it.
But no, it is something about being Belmont's very own, and that's kind of our unofficial tagline, Belmont's very own, being Southpoint Social, as well as honoring the history and the legacy of the community with the Red Raider, which we will address the Raider in the room here in a moment. But where I come from, East New Mexico, West Texas, towns are built around their high school sports teams. And on Friday night, every business is closed. They're out at the game, and every business has either some homage or tie back to the community through the high school mascots. So it was something that it just made sense for South Point. There's a lot of legacy and honor and pride. And we've had some South Point legends that Ryan's connected with here lately. Also Clemson legends. If you want to give an ode to that, you can. I won't. I won't steal your thunder. But it's really cool just to see people seeing us honoring that. I mean, even the Letterman that you see here, you can't see it on camera. If you walk in to your right, there's a Letterman there that's so old it says Belmont Red Raiders, not even South Point Red Raiders. I think it has to be 60 years old. So it's just really cool to not only look at what we're bringing into the future, but also look back at what we're doing for the community. And, the area, South Point Road, I know it gets busy. There's a lot of traffic. But, hey, when you're on your way down, pull over responsibly, enjoy, and then, get home safely. It's a good place to be. So what else you guys want to share about this opportunity, about this project, and we'll wrap it up?
This is just the beginning. That's what I like to always come back to is right now we're only a month into this. And for me, I'm here every day. So if you guys do responsibly pull over and come say hi, you will see me here. But there's so much that can be done and will be done at this place for the community, and being able to just continue to build on that energy. I feel like it's been like a volcano erupting since we started from day one. The amount of foot traffic has increased, the amount of word of mouth has increased, and so for us it's just trying to keep up with it, but making sure that we still hold to the expectations and the vision that we have here moving forward. So for me, it's just the beginning. We don't know what football season's like, but you can bet that we're doing some fantasy drafts here.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Sounds good. Shout out. All right, be on the lookout for South Point Social fantasy drafts. I like it.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't know. I think the big thing is, like like Ryan said, like it took off, right away, and it's going to be here. And so I think it's been cool seeing this place become, it's always kind of, a neighborhood bar, and, there were some local regulars that would come here a lot, but seeing it sort of start to become a community staple. And I'm excited just to see as it evolves, just, the more foot traffic we get, the more types of people we get, the more types of events people want to do here, things like that. It'll be, it's going to be exciting to just watch that growth. But yeah.
Well, being a center of the community, we have some great nonprofits that are going to be doing some events coming up. Be on the lookout for that. Strong Like AK, locally founded nonprofit for pediatric cancer after losing their son tragically in 2020. They're going to be doing a seafood boil here. And then we're going to have Conduit Carolinas, which was, again, locally founded nonprofit that responded after Hurricane Helene, has had a lot of impact. They're going to be doing an event here. And I think we all see it the same way. I think that's why our partnership works, is we all have the same vision of how this exists to serve the community, not just in the day-to-day having a good time, but as a whole or on a macro level, being able to be a vessel for that kind of impact for these type of places and organizations that are serving the community as well. But I'll end with this. There's something to be said about building a business or building a place that you want to hang out at. And that's always been me. It's like, I want to build the thing that I want, not selfishly, just understanding that I understand that mindset. So truthfully, boys, we built a bar that we all wanted to hang out at. And that's why I think it's working. It's resonating with the everyday person. So how does that feel, knowing like I really did build the space I wanted, but I knew that the community would respond to it. And now seeing that response, I mean, did you expect, can I share?
No,
share
go
the number?
for it.
$60,000 in the first month?
I don't think we expect that until like year 12. Like when we were doing the numbers, we're like, wow, if we do this much, like we might be making some money. But no, I mean, 60,000, that's incredible in a very, very short period of time.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was definitely surprised as I've been, sort of watching it come in. But yeah, I mean, like Keanu said, like it's not just about making money and doing well. Obviously, that's what we want to do, as a business. But being able to be a part of this community, being able to, this is a bar we'd all want to hang out at, and this is a place that people in Belmont want to hang out at, and we just hope that as we grow, as we keep adding stuff, doing new things, that we continue to kind of do what people enjoy doing. And so I think we've done that so far, and I hope we continue to.
Yeah. Well, we're just a couple of guys having a good time. Mike as well. He has more. He's 74. I might be aging him by a year or two. But he has as much, if not more, energy than any of us, and we're just having a good time connecting with friends and enjoying doing it. Also, our staff, have been really great, rallied around us. It's not hard when new ownership comes into place, but they've been great to us, Sarah, Kristen, now Sterling, and others. So we're really grateful for the team that we have here. But we're excited for you to enjoy it. I know this is an impromptu or a different type of podcast episode. Being one of the owners, I have to try and remove myself from that to just highlight you guys. But it is a great partnership. It's a great business, a great opportunity. We're excited to see how it continues to serve the community. Y'all come in and check it out. Another big thing I want to highlight, for those of you that don't drink, we have a fully dedicated non-alcoholic beverage menu.
Yes, we do.
Something that we're also very proud of, because come and have a good time. And if alcohol is not a part of that, you still can have a good time with a mocktail or other alternative beverages.
I drink Shirley Temples.
Shirley
So
Temples.
that's how I get through my day.
The vision realized for me, you mentioned seeing a stroller. And for real, I'll end with this. It was about a couple of Thursdays ago. I see a family. It was obviously mom and dad, a couple of teenagers, a couple of little ones. They pulled up to Lily's Monster Burrito. Shout out. They order dinner. They come in. Mom and dad get a drink. The kids get some mocktails, Shirley Temples probably. They go out back. They're playing together. They're having a good time. You see the buzzer go off, and they go get their food. Dad keeps playing with the kids. Mom's eating with the little ones, and they stayed here for several hours. And that was just a really cool thing to see. And we know that's happening every day. So it's really awesome to be a part of it. Thank you guys for the time, for what you're doing to bring this here to Belmont and to serve the community. But again, that love and that passion, we're not from here, but this is home now. So cheers to Southpoint Social.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, Gaston County.